Hello, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Tracy, and in this episode of Halloween Spooktacular, I'm going to teach you what reoccurring dreams are, and then I will share with you my own direct personal experience with reoccurring dreams with the story of my reoccurring haunted house dream. So stay tuned. A reoccurring dream is a dream that actually returns to you over and over again, usually multiple times over a long period of time. And in general, reoccurring dreams, since dreams are really just messages from your soul, a reoccurring dream is a message that your soul is trying to get you to listen to. Or maybe it's like reoccurring lessons in your life that you need to maybe address and to learn from. So a reoccurring dream is simply a message from your soul that continues to return to you until you learn the lesson that is needed to be learned within the dream message. If you want to learn more about your dreams, you should watch my video on the dream interpretation basics. I'll put a link to it up above here. So if you're interested, go ahead and check that out after this video. And that way you can kind of get started on interpreting your own dreams. So for this Halloween Spooktacular episode, I want to share with you a story about a reoccurring dream that I once had about a haunted house. And the reason I was reminded of this recurring dream that I used to have is because recently I just had a dream in which I got a glimpse of the same haunted house from the reoccurring dream that I had years before. So now I'm going to share with you that reoccurring dream. In this reoccurring haunted house dream, it was always in a very big white house. And this house I had inherited. At no time in the dream was I told that this house was an inheritance to me. It is simply something that I knew without knowing how I knew. So anyway, the dream starts where I realize that this house is now mine after inheriting it. And so I go through the house just kind of checking everything out. And so it's all furnished and it has some belongings in it all over on every single level of the house. And most of the house I find very interesting. There are always, on every floor, there were a lot of rooms. And I just really liked exploring the house in my dream most of the time. Now, every single time that I went up into the attic or the third floor of the house, I would always get immediately creeped out. But in every dream, I always try to go up in the attic. But every single time I feel a deep and strong haunt upstairs in that attic. I never feel like I am alone up in the attic, and I'm always very, very scared. Sometimes I can make it into the attic and into some rooms, within the attic. Hold on, there's sirens. Sorry about that. I live in a city and I had the windows open. Anyway, back to the attic. So in some of the reoccurring haunted house dreams, I can make it into the attic and actually be within the attic before being scared off in a sudden haunting up there. But no matter what, every single time that I dreamed of this big white house, I would always start the dream at the exterior of the house where I'm looking up and I see this huge towering white house, and I'm looking up towards the roof or the attic area, and I just see at the very beginning of the dream, I just see like the attic area of the house and the sky. And then, I go through the house into the attic, and I always get haunted out of the attic. Anyway, then this dream would just kind of come to me once in a while over a long period of time, until finally I had begun studying at the School of Metaphysics back in January of 2009. And so at that time, I started to like open up to dream interpretation and meditation and just really getting to know my inner mind and my inner self. And so while I was a student, and after I had been a student for a little bit of time, I ended up having another dream of the haunted White House. Only this time, I was actually able to enter the attic and to actually walk through the attic. And I realized that the light was even different in there. It's almost like the sunlight was finally shining through the windows, and for some reason, the light never shined through the windows the way that it had before. And in this time of the dream, I was able to walk through the entire attic room and go into all the different chambers and rooms of the attic and not be scared out or haunted away. And so it's almost as if my reoccurring haunted house dream was resolved in some way. So anyway, now I kind of want to tell you the interpretation of the dream so that you can understand why the dream changed over time. So the dream actually changes after I became a student at the School of Metaphysics and began to investigate and kind of explore who I am and explore my mind and my inner levels of thinking. So if you have watched my video called What is 5D New Earth and the Event, then you will remember that in that video, I showed you the 3 levels of mind using the mind triangle diagram that I had learned while being a student and volunteer teacher at the School of Metaphysics. So I showed you guys that diagram of the mind triangle. And so in a dream, your mind is represented symbolically by a house. And so with those 3 levels of mind that were shown in the video on 5D, then those levels of mind can correspond to the house in the dream as the lower level being your conscious mind, the second level of the house being your subconscious mind, and the attic or third level of the house would be superconscious mind, which is like the house of your spirit. So go back and check that video out if you haven't watched it yet. But if you have watched it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So anyway, to interpret the dream, I know that the house represents my mind. And those 3 levels of mind are also represented in the house. And in the beginning parts of the dream, or in the beginning time anyway, way back, when I first started having the dream, it was always haunted up in the attic. And so the attic would represent superconscious mind or my connection with spirit. And so it was always haunted because it was a part of me that I did not know very much about. So it was all very foreign. And it was only fearful because of my own perception towards it and my own thoughts. Basically just because it's a part of me that I was unaware of, and also didn't give any awareness or attention to. So, as I began to learn about myself, then the dream changed to where the attic was no longer haunted, and I was able to explore at will all of the different rooms of the attic without feeling afraid or scared away, because now I had more awareness, which is also represented symbolically in the dream by the light shining through the windows and filling the room with awareness, or, light, which is light symbolizes awareness in your dreams. So I hope that this video was kind of like an fun for Halloween Spooktacular, because it's about a haunted house. But I also hope that you guys learned something about interpreting dreams in the video. Have you ever had a reoccurring dream? If you have, I want you to tell us about it in the comment section down below. And if you like this video, please give it a like. And if you have not yet subscribed to Meaningful Motivations with Tracy Erickson, please go ahead and subscribe today, because that would make me so happy. And thank you so much for spending your time with me. And I'll see you next time. Bye.